So it's not like the child is like, somewhat the data says that the child is only absorbing between the ages of 3 and 6, but they're actually absorbing between the age of 3 and 18.
The power of reasoning develops in the age of 3 and 6.
Okay.
Absorption is going on constantly. Even now, today, you're absorbing, I am also absorbing. The level of absorption is much lesser for me today because my hard disk is full. The storage space available is less, therefore the absorption is less. When the hard disk is empty, the computer is rapid. So the absorption is faster. So from the age of 2 to 6, the absorption is rapid. Now my hard disk is full of some files up to the age of 6. So my storage capacity has reduced to that extent. And whatever files I have stored, so suppose I have purchased a laptop with Windows preloaded in it, I cannot change it to Apple.
Correct.
Yeah, it came as whatever the configuration was. I cannot change the basics there.
Yeah.
So the basics will remain the same. Now whatever I do with Windows in my laptop is individualistic. So suppose my child is an art crazy person, his laptop will be full of pictures and arts and music. If my child is a science oriented, his laptop will be full of scientific data. So what happens thereafter, after 6, is based on the individual capability and affinity.
Okay.
A is capability and B is affinity. Sometimes you are capable but you don't like things. Sometimes you like things but you are not capable. I like to sing but I can't sing. So I don't have the capability but I have an affinity. So both things work. Sometimes you have the capability and the affinity, then there is synergy. So the whole subject about upbringing is guidance up to a certain age. And that's why you are sent to school and university, because you need guidance in whatever stream you are going to major yourself in. Parents don't have that skill, therefore you are sent somewhere else. The same thing as Gurukul. You are sent to somebody else who has the skills which the parents don't have. Today education is all commerce. Who is paying attention to the student on a personal level? And today, even the teacher's right to reprimand a student is being questioned. Not only questioned, it is challenged. Challenged to the extent of taking him to the court. Earlier, Guru is Guru. You have come to learn archery from me. I am your Guru in archery. But if you misbehave, I have the right to slap you. Your behavior is not part of my domain. My domain is teaching you archery. So if you are misbehaving, if you are using bad language, I am not bothered as long as you are using the bow and arrow correctly. Which is what is happening today. You have come to me for physics. I don't care whether you are using foul language. That's your parents' business. I am getting paid for teaching you physics. I am your physics teacher. I'll teach you physics. Matter is over. The holistic approach has gone. Character building is part of growing up. Learning language, learning science, learning history, geography is part of education. But character building is also part of education. Today, nobody is taking responsibility for that. And that's why you have got characterless people growing into adults and continue to remain characterless and even become leaders. So many examples. Leaders using language which is unparliamentary, which is antisocial, right on screen.
Yeah, but that's where the thin line comes, right? If it's a good decision for, again, that's where the thin line comes. Whether
It's not a thin line.
okay. So basically,
It's a thick line.
till the
Yes.
18 clearly.
Clear guidance is necessary. And today what has happened is that children are refusing to be guided. Forget at the age of 18. Children are rebellious at the age of 10, 11. And you will see so many ads where the child is ridiculing the adult. Sanctioned by the society. Otherwise this ad should have been banned.
Yeah.
A child who is 11, 12 years old is ridiculing a man who is 40 years old. is being blatantly shown. I don't want to name the ads, but I can give you at least 7 ads off the cuff like this, where a child is shown to ridicule an adult. Now that becomes an education for growing children in the country because they are watching the ads.
So what all should we stop the kids to watching? Six.
So you can't stop children from watching. Let them watch, but they should be guided that what is happening is not the right thing. That guidance is missing.
Like, but people also don't want to impose.
It is not imposition. See, this is again the twist in the language.
Yeah.
A guidance is considered as an imposition. Imposition is where मैं बोलता हूँ ना तो सुनने का. That is imposition. But when you are guiding, see now these things are happening. Now this guy wants to sell this particular product. But to sell this product, he is misbehaving. Selling the product is fine. Misbehavior is not fine. Now in the entire advertisement, the whole package is sold to the youngster who is watching it. So the misbehavior is also sold along with the product. That the product is harmful for health is another story. I am not even going on that subject. But there is a misbehavior associated with that advertisement, which this youngster, unguided, is buying. And when I say he is buying, it means he is accepting it to be the norm, that this is normal behavior. Today when I go on the road and people are breaking the red signal left, right and center, for me as a child it's a norm. I don't consider it a crime. I go through a red signal because everybody is going through red signal. Where is the crime? Challan aayega, father will pay or I will pay.
So
the line that you are saying is not a thin line. It's a very clear, thick line now.
Okay. So basically, it's like you ask when something wrong is on, you ask the child, is it the right thing? Or if the child has done something wrong, just ask the child, is it the right thing?
Now you are talking of the method, how to teach the child. Yeah,
That's
so
what I've seen.
Asking the child is one way. If the child is reasonable, that it might work. But if the child has no sense of logic or reasoning, then it might not work. So again, as I said, it is individualistic.
Yeah.
How each parent deals with his child, the parent is in the best position to know because the parent is supposed to know the child. Unfortunately, today the parents don't know the child. You will see many parents today lamenting, "Mera bachcha meri nahi sunta hai." And this is a common complaint. And I can say a large chunk of the society has parents who have this statement to make, "My child does not listen to me."
Yeah.
What went wrong?
iPad rakh diya.
No, I left the reins. The reins are to control.
Yeah.
I left the reins. Where is the control? I relinquished the reins myself voluntarily. And therefore I lost control, and now I am lamenting and I am making a comment that my child has gone out of hand.
So just one last example was there in my mind, that when a child is not eating food, but then the parent keeps like an iPad or a phone in front of them, and then there's cartoon going on it, and then the child eats everything. So that has become like a support system now for the parents, that just keep the iPad in front of them and the child will eat. So what is that?
That is distraction. So you are destroying the value of food because the child is not paying attention to the food. He's paying attention to the cartoon.
What is the alternative to that? And everyone knows it's wrong, but there's no solution to it.
Now there is a solution. People don't want to take the solution. It's a hard solution. And I'll share an example of my aunt. She had four children, and one child was the youngest, and he was very fussy about food. So suppose some sabzi is made in the house, roti, dal, chawal, sabzi. And this child, one child out of 4, refusing to eat that sabzi. So okay, don't eat. Go. So the child is asked to go, don't eat. मैं खाना नहीं खाऊंगा, ये सब्जी होएगी तो मैं खाना नहीं खाऊंगा. Okay, go. Dinner को वही सब्जी. Again the child throws tantrums. मैं नहीं खाऊंगा. Go, sleep hungry. Next day same sabzi is made. For 4 days the sabzi is repeated, and I have witnessed this with my aunt. Till the child says he has no alternative. Now hunger is eating him up, और वही खाना मिल रहा है. So he is compelled to. Today the child eats everything. He is of course a grown-up man. Today he eats everything. And he thanks his mother for doing what she did. At that time he rebelled.
But that time there was no Zomato, Swiggy, home delivery.
Now you have access.
Access.
You have given.
Someone.
We had no access to money.
Yeah, exactly.
Money was the pocket money given to us by parents. Today, people have access on their mobile phone, connected to a bank account which belongs to the father,
Yeah.
opened in the son's name or the daughter's name. So I can simply pay Zomato and Swiggy and I can take a decision on what to eat and what not to eat. There is no parental control on the nutrition of the child. So freedom has to be guided freedom. It cannot be absolute freedom. Absolute freedom destroys. When you give somebody absolute freedom, he misuses the freedom.
Earn your freedom.
It has to be guided freedom.
Guided freedom.
Within this, discipline comes in guidance. When you go to school, you are not allowed to sit in any classroom on any desk. There is a designated classroom, there is a designated seat and there is a designated uniform. कुछ भी कपड़ा पहन के स्कूल में नहीं जा सकता. So it has to be a guided discipline. Freedom also has to be guided, which is not happening today. Freedom is absolute. Swiggy है, Zomato है, जो कुछ खाना है खाओ, मर्जी तुम्हारी. So essentially, we are relinquishing our responsibility towards the next generation. And we are expressing helplessness. There is no such thing as helplessness. There is always a solution if you put your mind to it and if you are committed to whatever decisions you have taken. The problem is we take decisions but we are not committed to decisions. We pass resolutions and we drop resolutions. And that is where the problem has come with. Today there is a pandemic of upbringing of children. There are many parents who are unhappy the way their children are panning out in life. Live in relationships, dinks, don't want children, don't want to stay with adults, want to put parents in old age homes. All these are offshoots of the essential problem of leaving children unguided. So adults have to take the responsibility of guidance.